It had to do with others. They seem to all be nuclear testing. We have more nuclear weapons than anybody. We don't do testing. We've halted it many years ago. But with others doing testing, I think it's appropriate that we do also.
Any details around the testing, sir? Like where, when?
It'll be announced. We have test sites. It'll be announced.
I know that you are already carrying out this work, not just in your plans, but also in your calculations, blueprints on test benches and ranges, developing a new generation of weapons and equipment. Russia, like all other nuclear powers, is developing its nuclear potential, developing its strategic capabilities. Russia is acquiring both the Burevestnik cruise missile with unlimited range and the Poseidon unmanned underwater vehicle. Today, here in the Kremlin, we are honoring people who have set an example of such worthy service to the motherland. They have made a significant contribution to ensuring its security and defense capability, to strengthening its scientific and industrial potential, and to technological sovereignty. Developers of the strategic cruise missile with unlimited range and a nuclear engine, Burevestnik, as well as the unmanned underwater vehicle, have been awarded well-deserved state honors. The result you have achieved, without exaggeration, holds historic significance for our people. To ensure security and strategic parity for decades to come, one can confidently say, for the entire 21st century. As is well known, in terms of flight range, Burevestnik has surpassed all known missile systems in the world. It boasts high target strike accuracy, which it reaches precisely and confidently at the pre-calculated time. I think foreign specialists were able to see this for themselves, since during the Burevestnik tests on October 21st, a NATO reconnaissance ship was constantly present in the area and at the time of the trials. We did not interfere with its work. Let them watch. Yes, I would especially like to note the unique operating mode of the powerful ultra-compact nuclear reactors on the missiles. Startup takes just seconds, whereas conventional reactors require hours or even days. A new generation of weapon types is already being developed based on such power units. Moreover, work has begun on the next generation of cruise missiles with nuclear engines. Their speed will be more than 3 times the speed of sound, and in the future, they will become hypersonic. We recently discussed this with some of the colleagues present in this hall. The work on the Poseidon device is closely connected with the development of the Burevestnik as well. The technologies used in them, many of the innovations are unique and complement each other. Of course, the creators of Poseidon also had to solve specific challenges related to managing the underwater complex. I mean, the advanced materials units and components specifically required for this product, which enabled high speed and a great diving depth of up to 1,000 meters. And as for the speeds, they are several times higher than those of all modern surface ships. I want to especially emphasize this. Such technological breakthroughs do not emerge out of thin air.
So I'll definitely have to check it out. But most likely, I was being heard. Hopefully I was. So anyway, where was that? Ezekiel 38. Ezekiel 38:1, it says, "And the word of the Lord Yahweh Bashmawashah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him." So Gog from the land of Magog is talking about Russia. It says the chief prince, which is the head, the leader of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, which ultimately goes into Meshech and Tubal, goes into Russia. And say, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmawashah, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal." So the Most High is against these devils, right? Russia, these are Edomites, right? It says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shield, all of them handling swords." So the Most High Yahweh Bashmawashah is going to bring these devils forth to perform his work. And what is his work? To destroy Babylon, right? But they are told. Isaiah 10:1, it says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from my people, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless." And ultimately this is what every nation pretty much did to us, because we was always in servitude, But ultimately, these Edomites here in the captivity of Babylon, the captivity of Babylon did it the worst. It says, and what will you do in the day of visitation and in the desolation, which shall come from far? To whom will you flee for help, and where will you leave the glory? And that's the point, because the desolation that's going to come from far is going to come from Russia, right? From God, the land of Magog. It says, without me, they shall bow down under the prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Let me get this in the NLT. NLT says, you will stumble along as prisoners or lie among the dead. But even then, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's anger will not be satisfied. His fist is still poised to strike. So basically, the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushai really want these heathens eradicated. And ultimately, that's why you have Obadiah 1:18. It says, Isaiah 10:5, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. All right. So the staff in their hand is mine indignation. The staff in their hand is what? The nuclear missiles. Right. And the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushai spread these nuclear missiles to all, to some people, right? To different nations. Why did he do that? Because ultimately they're going to be used in the latter days, the end days, to come against America, right? Which is Babylon, to destroy it. It says, I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. And it was against us, the Israelites, right? Because we basically fell, we committed sin, and basically the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushai punished us. It says, howbeit he meaneth not so, neither doeth his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nation out of few. So that's what these devils are put here to do, right? Basically, for we can see now, the Edomites here in Babylon the Great, right? And the Amalekites, they're out here committing war crimes and things like that. But the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is also going to use Russia, right, to come against Babylon as a tool also, right? The scriptures say that the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord, and he turneth it whithersoever he will. Right. And that's exactly what he's doing. Now, I honestly think that my voice was not being heard because I wasn't added to the stage. I believe you heard the audio from the video. So that's good. So the video I played, and I'm going to probably chop it up. I'm going to chop it up to make it just play probably that video, because I just played that video and then got back to what I was getting to. The title of this video is, then take the sword and brandish it twice, even 3 times, right? So ultimately, a sword is being sharpened against Babylon the Great, right? And I don't mind. I'll just read it again, because you got the video, but it's all good. Jeremiah 15:35. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, right, which is Babylon, right, which is America. Saith the Lord Yahweh, right? This is the Lord's name. His name is Yahweh. Bahashim, in the name Yahushai, right? Yahushai is the son. It says, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? And upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men, a sword is upon the liars, and they shall dope. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. And they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. Right. And, basically what? Donald Trump is afraid. When I played that video earlier, you couldn't hear him. I believe you heard him talk. He's saying they're testing missiles now, too, because they're afraid of what they see the enemy doing. It says, a drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon her idols. Therefore, the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there. And, you've seen it. You've seen what I was reading pretty much, too. It says, and the owls shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabitant forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. As Yahweh Bashim Yahushai overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Behold, the people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth, right? And this is ultimately talking about God from the land of Magog, right? And the people that's going to be joined with God from the land of Magog, like the Persians, right? Togomar, right? Gomer, and Ezekiel 38. It says, they shall hold the bow and the lance. Ultimately, it's talking about what? The nuclear missiles, right? They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. Said the king of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail. So basically, the king of Babylon, right, has heard the report of the missiles and what's happening, right, and what Russia is doing. And he wants to do something about it. So he says he's going to test his own nuclear missiles to make sure they work, because obviously something's about to go down. And what's about to go down is what? Revelations 11 and 14. Revelations 11 and 14, it says the second war is past, and behold, the third war coming quickly. Now this is talking about World War III, right? We had World War One, we had World War II. World War III is going to come. And the reason why it's going to come is because that brings the missiles. They even said it like they said it. They said, I don't know what war is going to be fought with, but or whatever the guy said, but he said, I don't know. I'm just roughly trying to paraphrase what he said. I don't know what World War IV is going to be fought with, but basically the next war will be fought with sticks and stones, because the war that's coming right after they made these nuclear atomic bombs and things, they said this because they knew that these weapons would destroy everything, right? And that's the point. That's the purpose. The Most High Yahweh Bashmi is going to use these other nations that hold these bows, right, in the quiver, right, to shoot those into Babylon the Great and destroy it. So not the whole world will be destroyed, only America and also the land of Israel, because that place belongs to the true Israelites and it needs to be cleansed, because the devils there have destroyed it and defiled it, right? Even them just being there is defiling it. Them breathing the air over there is fucking up the atmosphere, all right? So let me see. I'm just trying to remember the things that I said, because I'm pretty sure y'all didn't hear me what I was talking about. So we got that, and then he said he basically said this weapon didn't happen in thin air, right? And that's why I had Isaiah 54 and 16, and I was saying, yeah, the Most High Yahweh Bashmi Shai allowed this thing to happen so you can perform His purpose, His will, and His purpose and His will is to destroy Babylon and also the land of Israel, and you're going to do it, Russia. It says Isaiah 54:16, behold, I have created a smith that blows the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. So let's see some more of this real quick.
This is without a doubt the embodiment of the hard work and talent of many generations of our great compatriots who began and persistently carried out such research back in the second half of the last century. And of course, your success in creating other highly complex systems like Burevestnik and Poseidon are evidence of the enormous potential and capabilities of our modern science, universities and educational institutions, general education schools, industry and the economy as a whole. I would like to note, and this is important as I have already mentioned, it is especially important that only domestically produced materials are used in Burevestnik and Poseidon. Thanks to broad cooperation, and I want to emphasize this once again, thousands and thousands of people and specialists have created a true treasure trove of new materials, technologies, unmanned systems.
All right, so obviously a sword is being sharpened, a sword is being polished, right? For what? For a purpose. The purpose that Yahweh Bashmi Shai is going to perform on Babylon. I think that's in like Jeremiah around 50. It could be a name, I want to make sure. I'll grab that real quick. Every purpose. reformed. All right, yeah. All right, Jeremiah 51. So I'll go real quick because that's what this man is sharpening his swords for, right? Jeremiah 51, and we just get to the point. Okay, it's right here. Yeah, so Jeremiah 51 and 27, it says, Set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ariat, Minia, and Ashkenaz. This is Germany, Armenia, and Turkey, right? And I always forget this one. I'm going to make sure. I believe it's Turkey, though. Because it's right there quoted in Ezekiel 38 anyway, you know. Yep, so it's Turkey. All right. It says, appoint a captain against her, cause the horses to come up as the rough captors, and the captain is a god from the land of Magog, which are the Medes, which are the Russians today. It says Jeremiah 51:28, prepare against her the nations with the king of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble in sorrow for every purpose. And okay, what Babylon judged for sin. So it's talking about Babylon. So that's what's about to be destroyed. It says, and the land shall tremble in sorrow for every purpose of the Lord Yahweh Bashim shall be performed against Babylon to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitants. So that's what the Most High Yahweh Bashim wants. All right. And that's why Putin is sharpening up his missiles and they moving, you know, and I also say, because they talking about an arms race, and Putin was already running the race, basically. You know, it was a little joke or whatever, because he got all the missiles. This is Ezekiel 21 and 1 NLT. The Lord Yahweh Bashim sword of judgment. It says, Then this message came to me from the Lord Yahweh Bashim son of man, turn and face Jerusalem and prophesy against Israel in her sanctuaries. And ultimately, pursuant to Lamentations 4 and 20, our judgment is at an end, right? We understand that because the nuclear missiles are to destroy, of course, 2/3 of our people. They're gonna that was a good one. 2/3 of our people are gonna be destroyed by basically nuclear missiles and however else the Most High Yahweh Bashim Shah wants to destroy them, the dogs to tear, you know, famines, pestilence, and all of that. But also, of course, nuclear missiles. And I forgot what I was saying. But Lamentations 4. Yeah, grab that. Lamentations 4 and 21, and rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked. So the cup is going to be passed, the cup of destruction, right? And of course, going into the kingdom, you know, they're going to be put under the curses, right? They're going to be through. All right, they are already through. You can clearly see it. They're running, scrambling, scared. They're deleting brothers' videos. You searching for something, they delete it before you can get to it the same hour. That's they out of time. They moving quick, you know, and they don't, you know, they just through. It says Lamentations 4 and 22, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, right? Represents what? Israelites. It says he will no more carry their way into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And that's what's happening. Esau has been discovered to be the wicked. You know, even with these wars, all these different war crimes that's been committed, you know, because of Daniel 12, you know, knowledge being increased, we got all these, what, Isaiah 19, the Urim and the Thummim. You know, we got the www dot, we got technology, we got you know, all this stuff has been recorded, and he been exposed because we can see it. It's like, you know, we can see through. You know, he think he's hiding, but anyway. So the Most High is definitely visiting him. Anyway, so it's his turn, right? So ultimately, I'm gonna use this for him. All right. So Ezekiel 21:2, it says, Son of man, turn and face Jerusalem and prophesy against Israel and her sanctuaries. Tell her, this is what the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh says. I am your enemy, this is NOT, O Israel, and I am about to unsheath my sword to destroy your people, the righteous and the wicked alike. Yes, I will cut off both the righteous and the wicked. I will draw my sword against everyone in the land from south to north. Everyone in the world will know that I am the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh. My sword is in my hand, and it will not return to its sheath until its work is finished. Son of man, groan before the people, groan before them with bitter anguish and a broken heart. And this is what the prophets are doing. We're vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. We're sighing and crying for the the abominations that be done in the midst, right? All the hell and everything that the wicked is doing. It says, when they ask why you're groaning, tell them I groan because of the terrifying news I have heard, the bad news. It says, when it comes true, you say, then they shall know a prophet have been among them. Because it's going to come true. Habakkuk 2 says, though the vision tarry, wait for it, it will surely come. It will not tarry. It says, when it comes true, the boldest heart will melt with fear. All strength will disappear. Every spirit will faint. Strong knees will become as weak as water. And the sovereign Lord, Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh says, it is coming, it's on the way. Then the Lord said to me, Son of man, give the people this message from the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh. A sword is being sharpened and polished. It is sharpened for terrible slaughter and polished to flash like lightning. Now will you laugh? Those far stronger than you have fallen beneath its power. Yes, the sword is now being sharpened and polished. It is being prepared for the executioner. Son of man, cry out and wail, pound your thighs in anguish, for that sword will slaughter my people and their leaders. Everyone will die. It will put them all to the test. What chance do they have? Says the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Yahweh, the sovereign, power. It says, and ultimately, even when you get 54, we know that for the elect, it's not real quick. All right, so I'm gonna just make sure this play. Right, so I was gonna say, pursuant to Isaiah 54, Isaiah 54:17 says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh, and the righteousness is of me, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh. And ultimately, this goes into the elect, right? You got Isaiah 65. It says, my servant shall eat, but you, shall go hungry. And that's contrast from the elect, or the 1/3 to the 2/3 that you can find in Zechariah chapter 13, right around the last verse, pretty much. All right, so this is good. It says, Ezekiel 21:14, Son of man, prophesy to them and clap your hands, then take the sword and brandish it twice, even 3 times, to symbolize the great massacre facing them on every side. Let the hearts melt with terror, for the sword glitters at every gate. It flashes like lightning and is polished for slaughter. O sword, slash to the right, then slash to the left, wherever you will, wherever you want. I too will clap my hands, and I will satisfy my fury. I, the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Yahweh, have spoken. So ultimately, let me grab this real quick. Title says, Putin unleashes 3 nuclear weapons, a message for Trump. Let's check it out.
Now let's turn to Russia, where President Vladimir Putin is turning up the heat. He's flexing his military muscle. In the last few days, Russia has unveiled 3 weapons, back to back, like they're on a deadline. First, Russia tested a cruise missile. It was powered by a nuclear reactor and designed to loiter in the air for days. The second test was an underwater weapon. It can trigger a tsunami at sea. And the third and the latest one is a new submarine. Russia unveiled it this week. Reports say the submarine is capable of launching a nuclear torpedo. And you know what these tests have in common? Each of these systems is nuclear capable. Russia is not just modernizing its arsenal, it is flexing it. And the idea is quite clear, to send a message to US President Donald Trump. In fact, look at their latest weapon. It's also their most lethal one. It is called the Khabarovsk. It's a new submarine. It is nuclear powered and it is equipped with a deadly weapon. This submarine can fire a nuclear torpedo, specifically the Poseidon. Russia recently tested this weapon too, the Poseidon. It's not a missile, it's an underwater drone. It is nuclear powered and nuclear armed. Experts are calling it a super weapon because it can travel at speeds of up to 100 knots. That's around 185 kilometers.
All right, I'll be right back. All right. So, pretty much I just had this, this video that was it, but I'll just play a little bit more of it.
Per hour underwater. The Poseidon is designed to evade all known defenses, and it does not explode on impact. It triggers something far more destructive, a radioactive tsunami, something that is powerful enough to devastate an entire coastline.
We conducted another test of yet another promising system, the Poseidon underwater unmanned vehicle, which is also equipped with a nuclear power unit. It is 100 times smaller than the nuclear reactor on a submarine, yet the power output of Poseidon significantly exceeds that of even our most advanced intercontinental range missile, SARMAT. There is nothing like SARMAT in the world. We have not deployed it yet, but it will be deployed soon. However, Poseidon significantly surpasses SARMAT in power.
Now, Russia has built and launched a submarine that is specifically designed for the Poseidon. This comes just days after another missile test, the Burevestnik. NATO members call it Skyfall. The name comes from a bird, the storm petrel. In Russian folklore, it is seen as a sign of an approaching storm. The missile had been under development for years. Russia tested it recently. Experts have described it, and I'm quoting, as a tiny flying Chernobyl. That's because it runs on nuclear power. It can fly for much longer than conventional missiles. The Kremlin says it can fly for days and even evade missile defense systems. Russia released a video after this test. It shows President Putin discussing the test with Russian generals.
How many thousands of kilometers did it cover?
14,000.
All right, I'll probably just move off of this one. I was with the elder South Carolina brought it out. One of his, comments and questions. Video I just recently watched, and I just thought about it. So this is because they talking about the Poseidon missile can go up under there and cause a radioactive, type of tsunami. So this is that. I'll read it. This wasn't the one, but I'll still read it real quick. It says Revelation 16 and 17. You can get you should say KJ. Revelation 16 and 17, it says, and the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, "It's done." And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. And that goes inside Isaiah 24, right? And the great city was divided into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before Yahweh to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. Why? Because of nuclear missiles. And that's what's going to cause the great earthquake. It says, and there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of the talent. The men and the men blasphemed Yahweh because of the plague of the hail. For the plague thereof was exceeding great, and this plague is nuclear missiles. That's what's going to pelt y'all. That's that great hell. It's the nuclear missiles being rained down, shot down, and it's going to cause a great earthquake. There's going to be a lot of them, right? Isaiah, that's gotta find that too. Isaiah 24 in 19, the earth is utterly broken down, the earth is clean dissolved. It says the earth is broken down, the earth is clean dissolved, the earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall roll to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, it shall fall and not rise again. Right, no saving transgression, once again, is those nuclear missiles, the polished sword that's being polished, right? And it, you know, is going to come to America and also the land of Israel. We should like to find this real quick. So I can bear with me real quick. All right, here. I was thinking about 9. All right, so Revelation 9. I started at 18. Matter of fact, I started at 17. Revelation 7 and Revelations 9 and 17. And thus I saw the horses. I started at 16. Revelations 9 and 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard a number of them. Now, what this is going into is the nuclear missiles. All right. And basically what this 200,000 represents is 200 million. Right. The Elder Apostle Tar, you know, broke this down, you know, in one of his lessons. You can, you know, search his page, Revelation 9 breakdown, right? It might be on GMS Infodoc as well. But basically, that verse right there, 16, when it says, we should say it to you. It says, I heard the size of their army, which was 200 million mounted troops. And this is talking about how many nuclear warheads there is. And even, I believe it was China, that have a nuclear missile that can carry 61 warheads in one silo type, you know, thing. Like the what is it? You know, the thing that carries, it's the missile, right? The missile carries the nuclear warheads to the destination, then nuclear warheads come out of the mouth of it, right? So they have one that can carry 61. Just one can carry 61 warheads. You know, so yeah. So it's going to be a lot of missiles pelting this place. Revelation 9 and 13. And the sixth angel sounded, I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before Yahweh Bashmel, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Basically, what? Preparing, you know, war. They're holding back this great war that will take place. There's even reports, you know, that came out that some missiles were shot, you know, and basically it ended up not going to where it was supposed to go. You know, different wars that these angels are holding back over there in the hot area, which is the Levant region. But right here it's saying, and when this seal is poured out, and that's the time we're entering into, Revelations 9 and 14, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels, which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. And basically, this is a set time, right? Let me see if I can grab that. You know, because you can't, basically, you can't do nothing against the Most High's time, right? Everything is set for a certain period of time. It says, NOT, then the 4 angels who had been prepared for this hour and a day and a month and a year were turned loose to kill 1/3 of all the people on earth. So it's a set time. So the Most High is going to bring this destruction for a set time. And it's, the scriptures say, you know, no man nor, you know, the hour. Not even the son, not even the son of man. Yahweh Shai, he doesn't even know. Right? He has the right hand of the Father. By measure has he measured the time. Let me grab that. By measure. All right. This is Second Esdras 4 and 37. I'll just get it right here. You can look it up. Second Esdras 4 and 37. It says, by measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. You know, so that's what we're talking about. Revelation 9 and 15. Somebody got a burp, like it. Nothing. It says, and the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, 200 million. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacknet and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone. It's talking about the nuclear missiles. It says, by these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone, which issue out of their mouth. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. So John the Revelator, right, is seeing a vision of basically nuclear missiles and how they move and what they do. But in his time, mind you, nuclear missiles was never heard of or even thought about or, around. So he just described them how he could. So he know that with their mouth, they hurt, the heads hurt. That's the nuclear warheads inside the heads. And their tails is like snake, because when you see a nuclear missile, what happens? It shoot from right down here, go all the way up, and you see the whole tail, right? The whole time, the smoke falling behind it. It says, and the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they for the murderers, nor for the sorceries, nor for the fornications, nor for their deaths. All right. So, yeah, I just want to grab that. Pretty much, I think that's it, So a shalom to the whole elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.